Hey, this is Nick from Income Digs, and if you're a bookkeeper and you want to increase your income to over $30K per month, then I'm going to show you exactly how to do that by focusing on an amazing niche, real estate investors. I'm a real estate investor myself, so everything that I'm teaching you here, I can guarantee this is what investors want. And I have students within my programs, bookkeepers, who are doing exactly this and making $30K plus per month by just focusing on this super lucrative niche. So stick with me, short video, but I'm going to give you 3 quick hitting tips so you can change your business for the better, augment your income, and ultimately quit your day job. Let's get into it. So how to add value to real estate investors. So what's happening out there is that we have a ton of people getting into real estate investing. They're being really successful, but they aren't able to manage their books. They're trying to do it themselves and they're failing. They need you, they need bookkeepers, but we need to know how to serve them. 3 things. First, we need to clean up their mess. As a real estate investor, I can tell you right now that I absolutely hate seeing things that are disorganized. I don't know where things are. I don't think things are accurate. And we don't trust the information. If we can get things clean and simple, I guarantee you real estate investors are going to like that. We'll talk about that. Create a consistent process. So how do we do things? Who does what? When does it happen? We need to establish that process. You as the expert need to provide that guidance, document it, and implement it for your client, the real estate investor. They are going to love you for having a consistent process. They're super busy. We have shiny object syndrome. We go in so many different directions. They need to know that there's a consistent process. I'll show you how to do that as well. Third, produce great reports. This one is huge for me. If we don't have good reports, then what's the point of managing our books at all? So these reports need to be real time. I can get them at any point in time. I can look at my report and know that it is accurate. It needs to be accurate. It can't have numbers that just aren't true, right? That means for the process above, if we're reconciling our accounts, everything is accurate and up to date. And it needs to be useful, right? So if it's a report that doesn't tell me anything, then what is the point of looking at it? Profit and loss, okay? But does it need to be profit and loss by property? Maybe it's juxtaposing multiple properties against each other. Maybe it's showing cash flow, maybe it's showing a budget. Whatever the case, we need to understand from our customer, from our client, what do they need from their reports, and we need to deliver that. We can do that as the expert. I got one bonus for you too. I'm going to throw in at the end of these 3 that is absolutely game-changing from a mindset perspective. So stick with me. I promise this will not be too long. Let's talk about cleaning up the mess. This is so key to just getting things straightened up and organized and simple. We can gain so much value for our customers if we just get things clean. So how do we do that? We need to align on our target chart of accounts. So many of your clients are going to come to you with this gigantic list of chart of accounts that somebody told them to do it this way, somebody told them to do it that way. You need to sit down with them, establish what I call the target chart of accounts. This is what I want it to be. And then we go to work. We look at cleaning up and fixing old data. So everything that doesn't comply with our new chart of accounts, whether that's because it's too specific, or we eliminated this account here, or we added this account there. We need to go back to past data. We need to do a cleanup exercise. An amazing way, by the way, to get a nice project fee. Okay, I'm going to talk about that in a second. Reconcile account balances, make sure all the bank accounts line up, the mortgages line up, the tax and insurance escrow accounts line up. I guarantee you 90% of clients that come to you with tax and insurance escrow accounts won't be accurate. They're not maintaining them. You can gain tremendous value for yourself and for your client if you fix those things up. Eliminate accounts and then move forward. So once we've cleaned things up, we zero everything out. Now we're going to say, these are our accounts moving forward. We can deactivate a bunch. We give a nice simple list of accounts, a nice simple balance sheet and profit and loss. Things look clean, all right? So we have our chart of accounts. We have a reconciling. We do a cleanup journal entry maybe as well, where we kind of eliminate things if we need to. All right, so cleaning up is key. And if you haven't mastered this skill yet, that's okay. There's time. I want you to really think about this. You can make a lot of project-based fees with learning how to clean up, okay, and being good at it. Now, I have a cleanup toolkit, a QuickBooks cleanup toolkit. If you want to grab that, go ahead. That's how I go through a 5-step process for taking on a client's books, cleaning it up, and getting it ready for the future. Check that out as well. Second, create a consistent process. This is big. What are we doing? When are we doing it? Who is accountable? Bookkeeping should be boring. We should have a process that is easy to follow and boring. Establish a daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly cadence for what needs to happen and document it. A lot of it's probably in your head as a bookkeeper, right? You know what needs to be done, but your client doesn't. If you can document and say, here's the process we're going to follow, here's what we're going to do daily, weekly, monthly, they're going to love you for it. Illustrate with a process flow, okay? This is something you can, again, set yourself aside, set yourself above the competition by illustrating with a process flow. I'll show you an example in a second of how this will all work. Assign accountability for each step. Who does what? Is it you? Is it a VA on their team? You're going to need somebody on their team to do something. You won't know what all the expenses are, right? So somebody on their team needs to be accountable as well. Let's establish that accountability through this process, and then demonstrate how it can be done. Use Loom, use videos, show, don't just tell. All right. When we talk about illustrating this process, you should have a list of daily, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly tasks that should be done, right? Establish those tasks and then draw them out, right? Use a process flow. I use something like Lucid Chart to draw out my process flows, both internally for my business and for my clients. If you can do this, again, you're going to set yourself apart. You're not just that average bookkeeper that somebody met on Upwork. You're somebody who cares about their business, and you take the time to establish a process that you will then execute on to keep the books clean. We just cleaned them up in step 1. This allows us to keep the books clean. Step 3, produce great reports. This is essential. Being a real estate investor myself, I know that this is absolutely essential for me and for my colleagues. We need to see things that can help us make key business decisions. So really focus on reports. They should empower your client to see what projects and businesses are making them money. It seems like a simple ask, right? They're going to want to know that at all times. If you show them a profit and loss for the whole business, I guarantee the first question they're going to ask is, okay, what about by project, by property? Do you have a clean way to do that? And are you able to show them, to demonstrate to them how to pull that report, or are you delivering to them automatically through an email? Understand what they own and what they owe. Okay, again, what's the value of my property and how much do I owe against it, right? This is a really good place for a 2-dimensional chart of accounts where we have properties across the top and a generic chart of accounts on the side, and we can see what our basis is for the property as well as what my mortgage balances are. You can pivot toward or away from business opportunities or risks, okay? So we can understand what's making us money, where to maybe move, what is potentially costing us too much money, what should we buy less of or invest less in, okay? Reports are absolutely huge. So whether you're in QuickBooks, probably that's the best place to start with management reports, with saved reports, start there, maybe with an external reporting tool as well. I kind of teach all of that. If you're in my real estate accounting bootcamp course, check out module 6, where we specifically talk about reports and advanced techniques. If you're not in that course yet, everything we're talking about here is going to be amazing for you. We have a ton of bookkeepers in the course as well as in the community, and you can take everything we're learning here to the next level for sure. All right, so reports are absolutely huge. And I want you to be able to show your prospective customers what types of reports you can make. So again, be illustrating that, be showing them, be demonstrating what types of reports you can do. Here's the bonus, all right? This is something that's going to really set you apart when it comes to making more money, charging more money for your services. And that's being clear and consistent about one important fact. QuickBooks Online was not made for real estate investors, okay? If you understand that and you can make your client understand that, that's going to make you more valuable. You are the vehicle, you're the glue that takes this really good software, which is QuickBooks Online, and brings their business into it. Okay, so QuickBooks Online, your client is going to see all these videos or in ads, commercials, where somebody comes to a flower shop and swipes their card and everything's so easy, it just loads right in. They're saying, why can't I do that for my business? Let's buy the product, let's buy the software, and I want my books to be that clean. Well, it's not gonna work out of the box. You, as the bookkeeper, as the professional and the expert, need to make some tweaks, make some adjustments, get the setup, get the architecture right, so that it can be that powerful tool for your customer. Understanding that out of the box, it's not good enough, and making sure your customer does too, is essential to charging a lot for your rates, okay? Become an expert and charge like it. That's what you're going to do. Shift your mindset. You're not just a bookkeeper for the average Joe. Real estate investors, if this is done right and adds value in the 3 ways that we just talked about, the sky's the limit for what you can charge. We're going to talk about what you can charge in a second. Okay, let's talk about what we can charge. Now, what I'm getting this from, as I move over to this analyzer right here. Right now, I have over 1,000 students who have gone through my course. Now, right now, on a week-to-week basis, I'm working with about 100 or so, and some are really in my Read Plus group. They're bookkeepers, and they've learned a lot, and they're doing amazing work, and I'm getting rates from them. This is what they're charging, okay? So what I want to do with you is I want to just kind of forecast some of this out, okay? So what would our hourly rate potentially be? Percentage of utilization, so meaning like, all right, if there's a 40-hour work week, you're not billing for 40 hours. We know that, so I'm going to play with that a little bit. And then we also have projects, okay? Let's see how much we can potentially make, all right? So as a bookkeeper, you might be thinking, well, I'm probably charging $25 an hour, maybe $50 an hour, and maybe I have like a 90% utilization, maybe something like that, okay? And if I can increase my rate to 30 to 45, we see obviously I'm increasing my income. That's great. Students of mine who are doing what we just talked about, meaning they're becoming experts for real estate investors and they're getting things clean, they're defining and executing a process, and they're delivering amazing reports, are charging over $197 an hour, okay? So this is real life that they're doing that, all right? $197 an hour. If 90% of that was billable, that's $30,000 a month. Now, 90% high is a high utilization. I understand that. So we might have to play with that. And that 197, it's like, can we get that? I have many students who are doing that. I have many who are doing more. 225, maybe at an 80% utilization. You can decide your utilization too. Maybe this is way more than you'd ever need, right? So what if we can charge this much and only work 20 hours a week, right? And maybe we're fine with that income. What I'm telling you is that we got to get out of the mindset of $25 an hour, $30 an hour, $50 an hour, and way elevate that. If you can do what we're talking about here, becoming an expert and demonstrating that to your clients, you're going to make a ton of money. Also think about the amount you can make on a project. So like a cleanup project, a 1 week cleanup, maybe you're doing one of those per month, 2 of those per month, play with that as well. But what I'm seeing is something a little bit more like this. Okay, so $197 an hour, 85% utilization with a couple of projects per month. Many of my students are making well north of $30,000 per month. You can too. All right, you have to invest the time to become an expert. This niche is extremely lucrative. There's more and more of us getting into it, and every single day I'm getting requests, do you know a bookkeeper who can help serve my needs? I need somebody good, right? I need somebody who understands the cleanliness, the process, the reports. You can do it. All right, I absolutely know you can. Let me know if you have questions or comments. This is real life stuff, right? I'm seeing it every single day. If you're interested in any of the programs we have available, we're gonna have links below as well. Real Estate Accounting Bootcamp is my end-to-end course. We have so many bookkeepers that are going through this program and just coming out the other end as just amazing professionals, experts in that field. We also have a bookkeeper marketplace that if you go through the course, you can have access to as well. Post yourself in my website to be then available to others, all right? Leave your comments and subscribe. I can't wait to see what you have to say and to communicate with you on this platform. And of course, always be on the lookout for the next video. I'll see you there.